Hey everyone, and welcome back to another little vlog of Disneyland Paris. So, as you can tell, we are home. It has been many weeks since we are home, so we've had time to reflect.
And recover from being ill.
Yes, you were very ill.
I was.
And yeah, it was a bit of an experience with it and stuff.
It was, yes.
So, we're going to go through the goods, the bads, and the uglies. No, going to go through everything now as a bit of a debrief and stuff. So we are deciding to go through it with Johnny as well, just to compare
and contrast our different experiences.
Right, so we're going to start off with some positives first. And, this was my second time going to Disneyland Paris, and your first.
It was.
But technically, we're classing it as my first because I went for one day back in February 1995.
Yeah.
And we had a bit of a taste of the same weather as then.
Yeah.
Not as bad. Back when 95, it was raining the entire time and very cold.
Yeah.
But we didn't have that much, do we?
No, we bundled up and took lots of things for it to be cold, and it ended up being quite mild, a little bit showery, but not awful. We had bright spells of sunshine in between. So yeah, we ended up not really using the thermals or using the thick coats. We both wore the thick coats on the first day, and then we were quite warm.
We were too warm.
We dumped the coats for the rest of the holiday. So
you were sensible and brought a little pack-a-mac with you as well. I didn't, so I just got wet on the second day. So
yeah, little pack-a-mac and an umbrella, that was fine. Obviously, you know, if it was going to be freezing cold there, then we would have needed the thermals, and we would have needed the thick coat and scarves and gloves and hats and everything. But
just a reminder, we went in on the third week of January.
Yeah.
So we were expecting it to be cold, and weather forecasts were saying it was going to be cold and wet.
Well, a few days previous to us arriving, they had snow. So that shows how cold it was. We literally got there just as the weather turned, and it went from sort of 0 degrees to about 11 or 12. Yeah. So it was fairly mild for a January.
Yeah, so for you, like thinking, oh, what should we pack for Disneyland Paris in January?
A little bit of everything.
Just pack it all. We had 23 kilo for our cases, so we both took both of our cases, both massive cases, and obviously it was nowhere near the 23 kilos, but we managed to pack in hoodies, thermals, big coats, my boots, which didn't come back with us, but we'll talk about them in a minute. So yeah,
again, multiple pairs of trainers, so you can switch them out in case they got wet one day. You can have a dry pair for the next day.
Definitely, yeah. I think we took we wore a pair and we took a pair, didn't we? So, but if we were going for a longer period, we probably would have taken one or two more pairs with us as well. But yeah, it's like Disneyland Paris. We're going to talk about Disneyland Paris first, and then we'll go into the horrible things of EasyJet holidays, which we did not have a great experience at all with. But positives first.
Positives, yes.
So we arrived. So we got to the hotel and things, and the hotel was lovely, stuff like that. So
the hotel was basic, but it served a purpose. It was cheap, but it was everything that you really needed it to be. It was
free bus.
Yeah, free shuttle bus, which
30-minute walk to Disneyland Paris if we wanted to do it. So that's fine.
Yeah.
It had
free breakfast,
which you can't have in Disney hotels.
No, you got to pay for it or be on the meal plans.
Yeah, so there's lots of positives with it. Yes, you're not in Disney, and you don't have that hour that Disneyland Paris hotel guests have early entry, or extra magic hours, as they call it in Disneyland Paris. But we didn't need it.
No, we didn't need it. But we didn't need it because the first day we bought Premier Access.
We did, yeah. So that was your Christmas present.
It was.
Because I thought, I want to try and ram in as much as we can in this trip. So then the next time we go, we can have a bit more leisurely and things. And I thought, what better way to do that? I thought all the rides were on there, but they aren't.
No, they weren't. So. Yeah, it was a list of 14?
15, but we could only ride 14 because Cars Road Trip was down.
Yeah, it was under refurbishment, yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't want to go on Autopia.
Yes.
Because it's Speed...
it's like Tomorrowland Speedway, yeah.
But in Paris, they call it Autopia. So we didn't really fancy doing that one anyway. So we did 13. So we managed to do 13 rides, as well as taking in a little bit of Walt Disney Studios Park and Disneyland Paris Park. We took in a little bit of the castle and stuff like that. You had a little bit of a cry and things.
Yeah.
So not too much. You cried like leaving, really.
Yeah. And the good news is, since we've left, they've now added Pirates to that Premier Access Pass.
They have, yes.
So that is now another ride that's been added.
Yeah. Because we were surprised that it wasn't on there. So,
yeah, definitely.
It's like I will post up all the rides that are available for Disney Premier Access now for you. So you can see all the different ones there.
Like, the good thing was Crush's Coaster is included. And that is by far the ride that has the longest wait out of both parks. So you can regularly be looking at 2-hour lines for that ride.
Yeah.
Like, the ride was okay. I wouldn't want to wait more than probably about half an hour for that ride, to be honest.
Yeah.
But having it then as that Premier Access, I think that was the longest ride that we... Out of all the Premier Access ones, 9 minutes or 10 minutes, it was... That's how quick. That was... Out of all those 13 rides that we done that first day from the Premier Access, 10 minutes was the longest we waited. So that saved us hours of queuing time. So it was worth it. There is options, like if you go through all the list of the rides that's on Premier Access and you find that you only want to ride half of them, then there's options to do the Premier Access, but ride by ride individually. Yeah. And then you just pay... I don't know, like €10.
So Disney Premier Access 1, I know Orbitron is on that one because we've seen the Lightning Lane and we thought, oh, okay. So we tried to scan the thing and they were like, no, you need to have...
that is one of the individual pay-to-ride rather than it's covered by the Premier All Access.
Yeah.
Which is a bit weird.
It is a little bit, but because it's quite pricey for what it is.
It is.
Because if you compare it with Genie Plus... and even with Genie Plus now, because on Easter Sunday, is it Easter Sunday? It was an Easter Sunday.
Yes.
It was €40 for Genie Plus, wasn't it?
$39.
$39. $40, not euros. I'm getting my currencies mixed up now. And I was doing the same in Paris. I was calling everything dollars. But anyways, so it was $40 for Premier Access. And that's the most expensive. Genie Plus. Confused for Genie Plus, and that's the highest it's been ever.
But it's a really busy holiday day, so
and it's like people always have issues navigating it, but I think it's all right and things. Disney Premier Access 1, I think, is slightly better with the fact that you just turn up and scan it. It's kind of like how Universal's Fast Passes used to be. You just have to go in and scan it.
You can go anytime. You can only do that one ride once. So once you've done it once, you can't have it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Genie Plus is more of a scheduling and sort of having to sort of look at tactics and look at what runs out fastest. And sort of do those rides first, and then it's the whole, you can't book another one until you either scan in or until 2 hours have passed. So it is a lot more complicated rather than just turn up, scan your Premier Access, go on, that's it. You don't need to think any more other than buying it and then go into the rides in wherever order you want to go.
So there's pros and cons of both. I think there. So I am glad that we got that because we finished everything by 3 p.m. and that included a little bit of refreshment breaks here and there, some toilet breaks, some trying to dry off because we got hit by the rain when we were on Big Thunder first. And then
that was amazing.
It was so funny.
You couldn't have written it any other way. We'd gone on loads of all the different rides, a lot of them like indoors. And then we go to that first like outdoor big ride, and then as soon as we come out of the station where we loaded onto the train, the rain just hammered us.
The heavens opened as well. So, and it was hilarious because like I kept on putting up my hood and it kept on blowing back because you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And Jen kept on grabbing it and pulling it over my face. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but it was really funny. And that ride is so much better in Disneyland Paris than it is in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, it's a bit more aggressive. Yes and no. It's like I've got a love for that one and things, but we are gonna do on our Saturday Disney Parks videos in a couple of months' time. We are gonna do a compare and contrast between Disney World and Disneyland Paris, and I know other people have done this as well, but we're gonna try and do it as because Jem's been to Disney World once and you've been to Disneyland Paris once.
Yes.
I'm more biased because I've been to Disney World quite a few times. Yeah. So that is my home. That's my place and stuff. Yeah. So, because it was interesting, we were talking about these as we were going through all these rides and go, oh, well, that's actually better than blah, blah, blah. Or, oh, that's not quite this thing. And it was interesting that we had different opinions as well on them. So, and I do think it's just my bias, to be honest, on there. But yeah, so day one, great. It's like, I've never been to Walt Disney Studios before, the Walt Disney Studios Park before. So that was nice to do it. It was like entering Epcot. I almost call it Walcott then. Epcot again, because it was walls everywhere. But it's not too bad. It's like, it's the only park that I had an issue with a restraint on as well. Yeah. But we still got me on it. I enjoyed Pim's. That was really nice.
Yeah, we really enjoyed Pim's. That was the second day. We went there for lunch. Nice variety of food, plenty.
Yeah, it was actually. It's like we had a nice selection of different things and stuff like so. Yeah. And you found the mini corn dog nugget, the corn dogs on a stick.
Yeah.
And because every time I went up, they were gone.
They were gone.
And it's like, but I managed to grab one. So I was quite I enjoyed that. I preferred the kids sliders. Sorry, burgers that have been shrunk.
Yes.
More than the adult ones, only because there was a tomato in the adult ones. Yes, I know I can take them out, but it's just easier then, isn't it?
Yeah.
You had your blue mayonnaise and you were confused by it.
Yeah, blue mayonnaise. I also had a bit of...
It tastes like mayonnaise. And I'm like, because it is.
Yeah. Also had the blue custard.
You did have the blue custard.
Yeah. It was enjoyable.
My highlight with that meal was looking at you, and you looked pretty full, and I was like, you okay? And you were like, yeah, I think I'm done with savoury for now. And I looked down at your plate, and it was a massive plate of desserts, and not like
all the mini ones. There was about
but there was
9
loads.
on my plate. Just to have a little try.
So that was quite funny.
Yeah. And to be honest, it did, like we had the breakfast in the morning in our hotel, and then we had that, were we booked in like for midday or 12:30?
Midday. Really.
And we didn't really eat until about 8 o'clock that evening when we had a snack.
It was around about 7:30 when we were waiting for the fireworks.
And I wasn't really like hungry, so it did fill us up and it kept us going all day.
Yeah. And I think that was the best food that we had, apart from we went to the sports bar in the evening on the first day. Yeah. Loved that Mickey pizza. Loved the hot dog.
Yeah, that hot dog was good,
Good hot dog. And I like that. It was very quick service. Really nice.
Yeah, really quick.
Really nice server. He was a bit surprised when I tipped him.
Yeah.
As well. Because we're tippers. It's like if we like service, we'll tip. And obviously in France, you don't have to tip. No. In America, you have to, really. Yeah. If you don't, then don't go back there. They will remember you. The food-wise, it was okay. We were struggling with places that we wanted to eat and things.
Yeah, there wasn't as many sort of ones that jumped out as sort of like, oh, I really want to go there, We did want to go to downtown, but because we weren't staying in a Disney hotel, there was just no way really. You can sort of go there when they open at 6 p.m. and see if there's any like walk-up wait list tables that you can put your name on for. But both days we were in the parks and we didn't really want to leave the park to go and queue up and see if there was a table. Yeah. So when we go next time, maybe we'll sort of leave the park, because we've now been, just even if it's for half an hour, just to see if we can go and queue up and get a table.
It all depends on the nighttime shows, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Another highlight was when we did go and explore then the Marvel Hotel in the evening, we queued up to go into the Skyline Bar.
Which was not long at all. I think we waited about 10, 15 minutes.
Not even that, I don't think.
And we were we were tucked away in the corner, but they even said, please get up and we'll walk around and things.
So anybody can go in. We had 2 alcoholic drinks each, 2 non-alcoholic drinks. It is expensive.
It is, but it's not as well. It's like if you go to a cocktail bar, you are paying those prices for those specific drinks and stuff. And it was boozy.
Very boozy. I couldn't really drink my alcoholic one because it was too boozy. And then when I looked back and looked at the ingredients, there was no mixers whatsoever in there.
It was just lemon curd.
It was just alcohol.
It was alcohol and lemon curd.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
So,
yeah, I drank it.
Yes. He ended up drinking it all. I was like, there you are, you have it. Yeah. But yeah, it was lovely. It was nice to go in and have a little sit down, have a relax.
My only critique with it is it's called the Skyline Bar, yet it's on the ground floor.
Yeah.
To me, I know it's like you've got the window that goes out to look at like Avengers Tower and stuff like that. But for me, just put it on the next floor up.
Yeah. But maybe because it's accessible to all guests,
maybe
they don't want off-site guests wandering around.
That's exactly what it is.
They just want you to go into the foyer, have a look at the foyer, go into that bar, and that's about it. They don't want you going up and down the stairs.
It is exactly that.
Yeah.
So. But the hotels, we had a little walk around. It's like Hotel New York, Art of Marvel, amazing hotel. We had a look at Newport Bay as well, and that was quite nice. It's not very Disney and stuff, but it's still quite nice. We didn't go into Sequoia Lodge, but we had a little walk around outside there, and we had a look around Cheyenne and
Santa Fe.
It's like we know about Santa Fe because Johnny and Rebecca stayed there, so have a little look at their vlogs if you want to see their rooms and things there. A couple of days after, Disneyland Paris Hotel opened back up, so we got to see it all lit up and everything. And there were people inside there, so I think they were like, I think it was the Imagineers and the hotel the cast members and stuff were having like a big soiree in there. I think
because it was 2 nights before they opened when we seen that.
Yeah, and we do want to go. We definitely want to stay in Disneyland Paris Hotel. Probably just for a night.
With that sort of price.
And we do want to go stay in Art of Marvel, hopefully for 2 nights. But again, that is quite a pricey hotel. But we're quite happy with the cheaper hotels and things as well. So
I mean, it's the same when we went to Walt Disney World, really. We went to one of the value hotels, Art of Animation, which probably is the most themed hotel that they've got out of all of the ones over there. But over there again, all the value level hotels seem to be the ones that are mostly themed. Whereas like when you go up to the moderate and the deluxe ones, then the theming is more subtle.
It's because I think they want more highbrow people going in there. But Art of Marvel, that's a moderate. Well, I think it's more. It's deluxe. In between deluxe and moderate. It's like it's on that cusp thing. But it's definitely for the fans and things like that, really. So that's a lot of our highlights. We did enjoy it and things. Did. So it's like it was a great time and things. We spent from rope drop to close both days. Little tip: when the fireworks finish, stay there. Go into the shops. They'll kick you out after an hour. But then you can stay around the Main Street USA hub area for longer, they're not going to kick you out straight away and stuff.
No.
Just let those crowds go a little bit and stuff.
Yeah.
And we had some really nice photos of Disneyland Paris Hotel as well, because there was nobody around.
No.
And things really. So that's our little tip there.
Yeah, because the fireworks are always at park close. So everybody always leaves because you can't go back into the park, you can't do anything. I think most of the food places are closed as well, so that's a little bit different to Walt Disney World. But the shops are still open, so you can sort of utilise, going into the shops. And as well as the actual main street, you do have the arcades on either side, which is the back end of the shops.
Yeah.
And so there's 3 sort of different sort of ways then you can sort of get to the front of the park, to the front gates.
Yeah, and if you've seen the fireworks show or not interested in the fireworks show, go do your shopping in Main Street.
Yeah. So the second night, so the first night we had the regular show and we had the sort of one-off special show, which I think they only show like 3 times every sort of winter.
Magic Over Disney.
Magic Over Disney, which they do 3 times, 3 or 4 times in the slow season, which I think they do it like maybe 2 nights in November and then maybe sort of 2 nights in January. And it happened to be our first night was them doing it. So they done the main show first, then they done the Magic Over Disney. Now we thought it was going to be the opposite way around. So we thought, they're not doing it. But then they done it afterwards. And we far more enjoyed the Magic Over Disney show over the actual Dreams show. But then the second night then was, because they weren't doing that sort of Magic Over Disney show, they were going back to then doing their Electrical Sky Parade drone show, which we were super excited about. Yeah. That's what they do every other night alongside the Dreams main show. So we sort of found our spot, we waited, and then they announced that it was too windy and the drone show wasn't taking place. They were doing the music and the castle projections.
That's all it is without the drones.
Yeah, we were like, well, we wanted to see the drones. So we sort of went out of the sort of our spot then in front of the castle, because we were like, well, we're just going to be watching the same show as we did last night. We've already seen it. So we left that spot and then we went in all of the shops on Main Street.
Well, I got to see some characters as well.
Yeah.
Heading out of
Plaza Gardens.
Yeah, Plaza Gardens. And so that was good for me.
Yeah. And then we went in all the shops and we were the only people in the shops because everybody else was outside watching the fireworks show. And
by the time then that the fireworks were finished, we come out of the shop, so everyone was heading into the shops and heading out. So we managed to sit on a little bench and wait for the mass amounts of crowds to go out and things. But with the nighttime shows now, so like we said, Disney Dreams was okay, but a full theme of Disneyland Paris for me is they're stuck in the bronze, silver and gold era movies. There's not that much from the 90s onwards, really. They love Alice in Wonderland, they love Peter Pan and all stuff like that, and it shows because like the Disney Dreams was pretty much a Peter Pan show, and whereas in Disney World at Magic Kingdom they have a very specific song that's written for that and everything like that. They might have a little bit of Disney music in it a little bit, but this is just a compilation of Disney songs.
Yeah, it is, yes.
And when Magic Over Disney came on, it was a party. It was bumping and everything. The music was amazing. Yes, they were still Disney songs, but it was more Renaissance era, like our childhood era stuff. Yeah. And there were remixes of them as well. So that was cool. And then right after that, after it, they still played a little bit of the song of like boom, 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 boom. But and it was like, so you like really like
into it, getting into the groove.
Yeah, and it's like we would have loved Electrical Sky Parade because I've watched it. Unfortunately, you haven't seen the actual Main Street Electrical Parade before. And I just love the music. You know, they ding, 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 ding. It's like all 80s electrical sounding and stuff like that. It's great. And with the drones, because we didn't watch any YouTube videos before because we wanted to see it in person. And we had to watch it then, didn't we? And we thought it was amazing.
Well, we had to watch it then when we couldn't see it.
And we did notice then that if we did stand where we were standing, we wouldn't have seen all of it.
No, so we were stood quite close to the castle because we used to stand in that close for the projections. But then when we watched YouTube showing of it, and they were quite close to the castle, and we were like, oh, all the drones seem to be sort of like
obscured, obscured by the castle and stuff.
And then we found another YouTube video then.
That was up by the bandstand.
Yeah, right the way down the other end of Main Street.
Perfect view. So.
And the drones were exactly where they should have been.
Yeah. So that's a little tip for you if you do watch the Electrical Sky Parade. Head towards the back end by the bandstand and things there. It's just a really good view there.
Like you won't see the castle projections, but you do see the drones in more of their sort of natural intended sort of viewpoint.
Yeah. So with the cast members in Disneyland Paris, it's a little different than Disney World. If you go to Disney World, they're there and they are like literally above and beyond and things and overly nice and stuff like that. You do get a few people, I think, but you can tell
maybe having a bad day,
tired, or had horrible guests coming onto them and stuff. But a lot of the cast members there seemed a little rude, really. But that's probably a cultural difference and stuff. There were some amazing cast members
we did
there
have
as well.
some amazing ones, but there was no sort of, sort of smiley, happy, smiling at you and like, oh, hi, welcome. And it was...
We had that day one when we came through, when all the cast members like waving at us like, hey, like that.
Yeah.
Second day, they were all like...
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah.
So that was quite funny. But so cast members are
hit and miss
with it. You either have some amazing ones or you just get by ones, like, so it's just a job.
Just like how many, like when we were at the front of the queue and like how many to go there. It's just very I've been doing this job for so long and
it's just paying my bills. It's just paying my bills, blah blah blah. But then you have the guests. Now, the guests in Disney World, you get them from all over the world and things, and you get people hitting you with strollers accidentally and things, stuff like that, and there are a few boisterous people there and stuff.
Yeah.
But in Disneyland Paris, I'd say 95% of guests are just ignorant, rude, and don't care about anyone else. So that was a little bit of an eye-opener.
It was.
There's no courtesy for other people. And even when you were being courteous to other people, they'd look at you like a piece of poo. Things really. So it's like, why are you doing that? It's like, all right, I'll slam the door in your face then. So, it's just little things like opening the door and they're like, what are you doing? It's like, well, letting you through so then I can come through. Or they would just stand in doorways. That's another thing they used to do.
Yeah, so we were in one of the shops, in the Toy Story shop by Buzz's ride. And then...
So some people standing behind the door and I'm trying to open the door.
This family of three just sort of stood in the doorway. Just,
on the other side, so we couldn't even open the door.
Yeah, they were just in the way of us being able to open the door.
We were trying to like... gently open it and being like, excuse me, nothing. So,
no, just still stood there.
Yeah, but hey ho, that is an experience. We can't control that. That's the guests and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
One of the, like obviously we mentioned the shuttle bus earlier for our hotel. So our hotel is one of the Good Neighbour hotels and there's like a row of 5 of them all next to each other. So the shuttle bus then started at our hotel. Our hotel was always stop number 1 and then it goes between all of the different hotels. And then it goes to the parks, to the bus station, which is just located next to the train station. So I think once they went to all 5 hotels and then took us. But then on other occasions, because the bus got so full, they skipped the rest of the hotels and then just took us straight to the park. But just sort of, if you are staying in one of those Good Neighbour hotels, the buses are jam-packed. They do pack them out, and then there's no queuing system. There's no sort of ropes so you're in an orderly queue. It's just lot of people.
People don't care as well. There could be people, 2 or 3 people behind you, and all of a sudden then they are in front of you and they'll ram you out of the way.
They'll push you and shove you.
We saw families getting separated, didn't we?
Yeah, so there was families, like sort of 2 or 3 got on, and then somebody else pushed in and took like the last sort of couple of spaces, and then the rest of the family was outside on the pavement, couldn't physically fit into the bus, there was no more room, so that family got split up. So yeah, and I was at the front door of the bus, and my side of the door didn't open, and it was only the other door that opened. And even though I was like right there at the very front, everybody was just streaming on through this open door to the side of me, not even letting me go in, even though they were sort of halfway down the queue.
And a lot of these people will just appear. Because we'd been waiting for about 10 minutes for the bus and stuff like that. Yeah. And there was a few other people there as well. But then that horde of people,
they know the timings to the minute, and they turn up at that exact minute.
And they do not care how long you've been waiting there and stuff.
So there's no system really. Whereas in Walt Disney World, and I know this is obviously the on-site resort buses, but they've got ropes separating all the queue so that there's an orderly queue, everybody gets on in turn. But this one is just a free-for-all.
And again, the guests, they're a little bit more courteous.
Yeah.
And the cast members are... it's like if something happens, the cast members are like, oh, whoa, what's going on? They'll get involved with it. So where the bus drivers with these
he just lets
Good Neighbours, they're just like, oh well, okay, get on. So, I'm closing the door now. And then,
so it is pushing and shoving, and at certain times, but to be fair, there's a lot of buses. They start early. They finish late. There's plenty of buses.
And like we said as well, it's a 25-30 minute walk to the furthest hotel away.
Yeah. So we walked it once, so that was fine. And, the buses are reliable. It is just a lot of pushing and shoving. So just be prepared. If you are in those Good Neighbour hotels and you are using their shuttle buses, just be prepared for that.
Yeah. And be safe as well. A lot of pickpockets operate in that area, so just keep an eye on each other. And taxi drivers will try and grab you. Oh, we'll do you a good price. Well, this bus is free. And things like that. There was people who worked on the bus stop, and they seen, because we got approached by one. And the person who worked at the bus stop, and they're going, where you going? So we were like going, the Good Neighbours hotels, and they were like, bus stop I over there.
So all throughout my research, everything I've had read was people saying that the bus stop number for the Good Neighbour hotels was bus stop Q. Now they've obviously changed that recently to bus stop I. So when we were going back then on our first night, we went to bus stop Q, and it did look quite deserted in that area. And then somebody approached us and sort of said, oh, do you want a taxi back? And we're like, no, we're waiting for the bus.
Good price. And
and then there was bus drivers across the way then, and they sort of come over and they were like, what bus are you waiting for? So we said. And
it's like they know, it's like, don't go with those taxis. Good price probably was like 30 euros probably. So.
So no, they were like, oh no, actually it's bus stop I. So then we went across, and there was people waiting. So
just be mindful of that and stuff, and happy days. So the whole experience then with EasyJet holidays. So I'm just going to say now, I am never ever booking my holiday with EasyJet holidays again. It was cheap, and you can tell it was cheap. The flight, EasyJet as an airline was okay.
Yeah.
They were lovely. The staff, they were lovely. There was a bit of a delay at the start, but that's due to weather, so that's nothing within. They kept us informed, apart from when they wanted us to board, and they were quite rude. We were like, can you get on the plane? It was like, well, you didn't announce our boarding group. Yeah. But anyways, that's different. But they were like trying to panic to get everyone on. So that's all fine. But we paid for the hotel, the flights, and the transfer all in one. Yeah. Because it was a really good deal with it and stuff. And we thought with the transfers, great, it'll be a bus that they sort
like a shared coach that they pick up a load of people and then do various drop-offs to different hotels.
Because we thought EasyJet, and there must be loads of people that's going to the same hotel as us and things.
Yeah.
So we thought we'll go with that. Brilliant. And then we booked for a flight into Orly and a return flight from Orly Airport.
Yeah.
And then about 6 months later, EasyJet changed that.
They changed the flight number.
They changed the flight numbers,
flight times,
and the flight locations. So going out was still to Orly, but then returning from Charles de Gaulle.
Yeah.
Which is where it then started messing things up. And now with the shuttles, you don't get your confirmation until 72 hours before your arrival. So we didn't get it until 3 days before. And I noticed it said Orly taken there and Orly return with the old flight numbers and the old times.
Yeah.
So I contacted EasyJet. They're like, oh yeah, no problem, we'll sort it. So I just didn't trust them anyway, because I didn't trust what the woman was like on the phone. So then I phoned the bus company, because EasyJet contract a British company, and then British company contact the French ones.
The actual sort of French people doing the transfers.
So I contacted the person in the middle. And they were like, oh yeah, I can see that it's... they were like, oh, well, that's the thing. So I give them the new flight numbers and all stuff like that. And then they were like, oh, there will be an extra charge or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, okay, no problem. And they then was like, oh yeah, no problem, we'll sort all that out. And we'll send a confirmation. Now, confirmation didn't came through about an hour later. And the times were wrong on there then. And I didn't see that until the following day. So I rang them up then. I contacted EasyJet again. They said, no, it's all sorted. Contacted this bus company again. Wasn't sorted. So I told them the times and everything again with them. So that's sorted it out then. And it took them then quite some time to actually send me the actual confirmation. I don't think I actually had a confirmation email with them then. I think I literally had to like go in, log into their thing and stuff like that. So I shouldn't have had to contact that middle person, but if I didn't, then it'd be an issue. Yeah. But remember now, EasyJet, that they said when I rang them up that they sorted it. It was all fine. They were confused. They were going, oh, don't you want the flights? And it's like, no, we want the flights. What are you on about?
We want you to change our transfer times because it's still picking up the old details.
Yeah. So we went then, we flew off there. Like I said, we were delayed. So we were a bit worried then about being picked up and stuff. And we went there. Obviously, we don't speak French, and a lot of everything is in French. It's not bilingual and things. So we were like trying to figure out where we were going, trying to find this bus stop and everything, which was quite a distance away from the departure lounge. And then all of a sudden, I had a text message from the taxi. It was a taxi, not a bus.
Yeah.
Saying, "Let me know when you're here." So I messaged them and things like that. And they were like, be there in 10 minutes. And then he came to get us. I'd our name on his phone. So I was like, yeah, no problem. I went and thing. So we went there. So we were like, whew, okay,
yeah, sorted.
Fine, yeah. So it was like 11 o'clock we got to the hotel then. So we were like,
we drove like a maniac through Paris. I was like in the back just, oh my God, he's just driving like crazy.
But at least he picked us up and at least we got there.
Yes.
So, and now on the return journey, as I've said in our whole video, was another ball game again. So they came to try and pick us up early, but we didn't have signal then. So, but luckily we went back to the hotel early and we seen the message. So picked it up, said, oh yeah, no problem, you can come pick us up.
I think so. They were supposed to have picked us up 5:30 p.m, but they ended up picking us up 4:30 p.m.
Yeah, but they were there at 3:30.
Yeah, originally.
Yeah, and she was lovely, absolutely lovely, Lara. So nice, happy, chirpy and everything. And she was like, oh, you're my only pickup now. It's like, because we didn't have to share, so we didn't share any taxis.
No.
Again, that was more like a minibus type thing. It wasn't a minibus, but it was like, there was several seats in this and things. So, and we got on there, and then you noticed there was an IKEA, and we knew that.
Yeah, this is an hour into the journey, and she's like, "Oh, we're just pulling up to the airport now, and there was an IKEA," and I was like, "Oh, that's weird. There was an IKEA just outside Orly on the way, like to the hotel." And then we pulled into the airport, and it said Orly.
So I did shout, and I said to her, we are going to Charles de Gaulle, no Orly. And then there was this whole debate. And luckily I had the printouts saying Charles de Gaulle. So they phoned the office and agreed to take us back
from Orly to Charles de Gaulle.
Which took an extra 2 hours then.
Additional 2 hours because now it was 5:30 p.m. and it was rush hour traffic and we needed to get from one part of Paris right across the city centre to the other part of Paris.
Now our flight was a 9.
So yeah, we got there by 7:30 and she said if she hadn't have picked us up that hour early and then obviously had taken us to Orly as what she'd done originally, that we would have got to Charles de Gaulle too late and we would have missed our flight.
Yeah. So when EasyJet told me, yes, they sorted the transfers, they did not. We were almost stranded in Paris. We would have been stranded in the airport, first of all, if we didn't tell them the time changes. But they managed to sort that out because they had the correct flight numbers. That taxi company then were able to track what time we were going. But they must have had our old flight numbers and everything as well for the others. So yeah, that was just a nightmare. That ruined our holiday, really. We had so many good things, but it was like a bad start and a bad end.
Yeah.
So.
But we ended up then, we were in the back of that taxi for 3 hours.
Yeah.
An hour to get to Orly and then another 2 hours to get to Charles de Gaulle.
Yeah.
So
I
was done at that point of having sort of spent 3 hours in the back of a taxi.
Yeah. So you're probably thinking, have I complained to EasyJet about it and what's happened? I have complained to EasyJet and they haven't responded.
At
all. And they said, we will be get back to you within 7 days. It's been God knows how long now. And I can't be bothered to chase this and stuff. But we will never, ever book with EasyJet holidays again. I'd rather spend more money. I'd rather spend £200-400 more than have that stress and that experience again.
No, definitely.
But yeah, so that was a massive downer for that and things.
Yeah,
then,
it was just a bit of a sour note to end on. Because we did really enjoy, even despite, you know, the rain showers and despite sort of like the rude people and the shoving and pushing on the coach, we did have a good time.
Yeah. Because the thing is, we accounted for the bad weather because we were going in January. We thought, well, it's fine. It's like, that's why we packed all these different clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and we really enjoyed having a little wander around Disney Village as well. We got some good deals and stuff. Yeah. We'd missed out doing our skip tax because of the whole deal. But yeah, that's fine. But it's like we did have a really great day and stuff, and we can't wait to explore more things. We've decided now as well, we are going back to Disneyland Paris sometime. We'll tell you again on that. But we are going back there, and we've decided now we're doing it's a coach trip that we're going on, and that's already pre-organised and things like that. So we don't have to worry about any of the issues with that on there. So.
Apart from, I'm in charge of the coach.
So
I've got a whole coach to look after, not just ourselves.
But that probably means that I'm entertaining them. But anyways, we've decided to do now is we've got no weight limit or anything. And we've seen so many nice dishes and mugs and glasses, crockery.
Yeah.
So we have decided we're going to completely re-kit out our kitchenware, really.
Yeah. Take an empty suitcase, take a load of bubble wrap, fill a suitcase full.
Yeah. So watch out for that whole video when that comes out. It'll be absolutely loads. But yeah, so we're going to come to the end with this now. People will probably think, oh, you had a horrible holiday. No. It's like the middle content was fab, absolutely great and stuff.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it. It's Disney. We loved it. I got to see Mickey. I was this close, as close as we are to you right now, to Mickey. Well, you were like probably miles away, but to the camera. But anyways, it was fab, absolutely great. Some fantastic rides, some great food, reasonable priced.
Yeah, so we really surprised.
So food-wise, we probably spent about £300 each, if that.
Yeah, not even that.
So, and that's pretty good. It's all because we had free breakfast at the hotel.
Yeah.
And things, so that really helped and things. So I'm going to ask you a question now. What was your favourite attraction?
I loved Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah?
Yeah.
More so than Pirates of the Caribbean? That took us forever to get on.
I did like I did prefer Pirates to Walt Disney World Pirates. But I really enjoyed the Web Slingers. Spider-Man Web Slingers. That was really good.
That was probably my favourite there, to be honest. It's like I loved Flight Force and things as well, but Web Slingers was just so cool.
It was
and
really
things
fun.
Like, so, yeah.
It reminded me of Toy Story Mania.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I really loved Toy Story Mania as well.
Yeah. Favourite show out of the two shows that we saw?
Oh, but they were totally different. So
They were.
Lion King was just like Broadway amazing.
Definitely,
singing and dancing and costumes. But then the Pixar Together show was so fun, and you had all the smells and the things coming down, and it was like it was just fun.
Yeah, it was. I agree. You can't really put them both together.
No.
If you had to choose, it probably would have been Rhythm or the Pride Lands because it is that Broadway spectacular, whereas Together is more kids friendly. Like so. Whereas Rhythm of Pride Lands, you are having a taster of what the West End / Broadway show is and stuff. Really,
effectively for not paying any more money other than the price of the admission, which you get the whole park as well as the show.
Okay, this is most difficult for you now, right? Your favourite food you had, or snack, could be a drink.
See, now I didn't really rate the snacks that great.
No. We had a beignet, we had a cookie, and we had a cake pop as the main snacks.
Yeah. So. I think the cake pop was probably my favourite out of the three. The other two weren't that great. Lot better snacks in Walt Disney World.
What was your favourite food overall or drink?
I really did like my non-alcoholic drink in Skyline Bar, and then I really did like the Mickey shaped pizza in the sports bar. We had a lovely meal in the Rainforest Cafe on our last day.
Yes, we did. Yeah. It's pretty much just saying everything apart from those two snacks.
And the Pims, the Pims was really nice.
I'm gonna say that hot dog in sports bar, banging, absolutely banging. I want to have that hot dog and a Casey's hot dog.
I know, we didn't do Casey's.
Because we did Casey's in Disney World.
Yeah, it was on the list, but we didn't end up doing it.
It wasn't. We took it off.
Like, I really wanted the corn dog on a stick and the Buzz Lightyear eclair.
Yeah,
but
we did.
Every time we went to the food stand, it was closed. And I think every time we were sort of looking at all those like freestanding food stands around the park, a lot of them seemed closed all the time.
Yeah. So we're not sure whether it was because it was in January. So next time we go, it will be a school holiday, unfortunately. So that's going to affect the queue times and things. But hopefully some of these will be open and stuff. So.
And I think for value-wise, that glass of champagne by the castle was
actually
so good. So for €15 each, we had the glass of champagne, and then we got to keep the souvenir champagne glass.
They're over there. I can see them. Hi.
So I thought that was really good.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah. And it was quite nice as well. It was quite nice.
It was a nice tasting champagne.
Just remember though, they only take cash on that stall. So. Well, they did with us, but
they did with us because the card machine wasn't working.
So just be wary of that. But literally, it's just outside one of the arcades entrance as well. So you can go down that arcade, and there's an ATM inside that arcade as well, just down by where the glassware and things is.
Where you've got Casey's on one corner, there's an ice cream parlour on the other corner, and that little sort of champagne cart was right outside that Gibson Girl ice cream, which was on that corner.
Yeah. Highly recommend it if you are over the age to drink, and also drink responsibly whilst you're in Disney. But no, overall, we did enjoy it.
We did.
We're not going to say now whether we prefer it to Disney World. We're going to do that in a different video, so make sure to click that subscribe button and the notification bell. Also, you can click the join button to get videos like this as soon as they're released. So as soon as we edit them and post them up onto YouTube, you can watch them straight away, so you don't have to wait for them to be scheduled. Anything else you want to say?
No, just waiting to go back to the park again.
Indeed. So we do have another video that I'm going to be talking to Johnny about this now. Yeah. And then we shall reveal our next trip.
Yes.
Or Johnny's next trip. Who knows who's going where? But
who knows who's going where first?
Yes. But until next time. Bye, guys.